10 News begins with breaking news.
Traffic snarled along a busy North County freeway after a box truck rolls over on the 15. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is near Bonzel, where the crash left a big mess on the side of the freeway.
The northbound lanes of the 15 back to normal tonight. The scene is cleared up now, but this was a nasty rollover, leaving a lot of debris on the side of the road. This tow truck loaded up what's left of this box truck. Its cargo area destroyed. What it was carrying now scattered off the side of Interstate 15. CHP says it was rear-ended by another box truck just after 8 o'clock Monday night. It rolled over and landed right side up before drifting back into the freeway. Emergency crews got it pulled over to the side of the road quickly, but the crash slowed traffic on the 15 near Camino del Rey. The driver of the box truck could be seen upset, searching the crash site for his wallet with no luck. CHP helped him pick up most of his belongings on the ground. Nobody was seriously hurt in the crash. Reporting near Bonzel, Anthony Pura, 10 News.
Unfortunate situation. And we have a 10 News follow-up on the Henderson, Nevada plane that crashed on its way to Gillespie Field Saturday night. 2 people were killed, 3 were injured. Audio obtained indicates that a door opened on the plane just moments before it crashed. The FAA says the single-engine Beechcraft Sierra belonged to SoCal Leasing in El Cajon. 10 News received a statement from California Flight Academy that operates out of Gillespie Field that says, in part, all of us at California Flight Academy are heartbroken over the news of our colleagues and friends. Our hearts and prayers are with the families of those involved in this tragic accident.
Happening tonight, the EPA stepping in to address the sewage problem of the Tijuana River Valley. Our 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo shows us what's being done and how much it will cost to solve the issue for good. Laura.
And the meeting was for people to hear firsthand from the EPA the background as to why these spills happen, and also to discuss possible solutions. The problem, one that has been going on for decades.
Great, thank you. Please introduce.
The invitation was made by Earth Summit San Diego and the Citizens Oversight Project, welcoming the EPA to explain why the South Bay is dealing with constant beach closures and sewage spills from Mexico. The presentation showed people where the spill originates from and how it dumps gallons of sewage into the Tijuana River estuary and then into the ocean, forcing dozens of beach closures a year.
From the 90s, we've seen improvements, and then we've seen fallouts, and we've seen improvements and we've seen fallouts. You know, the growth of Tijuana is one of the biggest factors of that.
The EPA says there's no question Tijuana's sewage infrastructure needs improvement, explaining there are transborder efforts in place, including studies and some funding in place. Also presenting possible solutions that would require millions of dollars in funding from Mexico and the U.S.
We keep seeing improvements, but they throw money at it, we see an improvement. They slow down the funding on it, and then we see that the deterioration and we see more pollution. They throw more money at it, and we see that happen less. So.
Those who surf in the South Bay hopeful but realistic that a permanent solution will take years.
If it can be done in my lifetime, I'd be very, very thankful.
The latest spill happened last week after the thunderstorms that we had. Right now, there is a closure from Borderfield State Park all the way to Imperial Beach. Reporting live, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
An unfortunate reality there. Thank you, Laura. And we are now waiting to see what will come from the search warrant served to the owner of the dive boat, which caught fire and killed 34 people last week. Federal and state warrants were served at the headquarters of Truth Aquatics. That's the company which owns the Conception. Investigators are looking for safety, maintenance, and training records connected to the boat. The boat owner says he wants answers as well.
I want to get to the bottom of what it was, just like everybody else does.
Last week, he filed a lawsuit that could limit the company's liability. Investigators are focusing on the layout of the boat, saying the only exits from the sleeping quarters both led to the area that was on fire. All but one person's remains have been recovered. The search was called off due to weather. It is expected to resume Wednesday.
Woo! Yeah!
There is relief tonight off the coast of Georgia, where all members of the Golden Ray are now safe and accounted for. After more than 30 hours trapped in horrific conditions, all 4 crew members have been safely pulled from the capsized hull. Rescue crews heard the men tapping below and carefully drilled a hole inside to reach them. Outside, temperatures were topping what felt like 120 degrees, and inside the hull was even hotter.
They were subject to some pretty tough conditions over the last day and a half.
The 650-foot ship remains capsized, shutting down a busy waterway. New worries are growing over environmental concerns, with pools of oil now clearly visible. It could take weeks or even months to turn the ship over and remove it.
Just in, the UK's Brexit saga continues as Prime Minister Boris Johnson suspends Parliament until October 14th. And this suspension comes at a critical moment in the Brexit process. Johnson's opponents say the Prime Minister is trying to stifle debate and allow the country to slide into a no-deal Brexit. That means if the UK reaches October 31st without a withdrawal agreement, it will be forced to leave the EU without one.
President Trump drummed up support in Fayetteville, North Carolina during his Keep America Great rally.
Tomorrow is your chance to send a clear message to the America-hating left.
The president's visit comes one day before a special election in North Carolina's 9th district. The district seat is empty in the House due to fraud in the 2018 midterm election. The president is aiming to boost Republican candidate Dan Bishop in what is expected to be a tight race.
Tomorrow, we take the first steps to firing Speaker Pelosi and winning back the House in 2020.
The rally was also a chance for President Trump to test how his message is resonating in suburban areas ahead of the 2020 election.
The next Democratic debate will be Thursday. You can watch it right here on ABC 10. It's the first time the top contenders will all be on the same stage, including former Vice President Joe Biden, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. You can tune in at 5 o'clock, followed by a special post-debate edition of 10 News at 8 o'clock.
A former sheriff's deputy is now a convicted felon. Today, Richard Fisher pleaded guilty to assaulting 16 women while on the job.
On the other side of the wall, I have a 12-year-old child. That if I do what I'm asked, I might have a great chance that I'm going to stay alive.
13 of his victims were in court. All had previously testified against him. One of Fisher's accusers said that she was afraid for her life.
Because at that moment, it felt like he was going to probably snap my neck or something. I don't know. I was scared, and I had no idea what to expect next.
Fisher will be sentenced in December. At that time, a judge will determine if he will be required to register as a sex offender.
It's a popular search tool to find a new house, but now Zillow wants to get into the home buying market as well. Today, the company launched a new service in San Diego. It's called Zillow Offers.
Our reporter Matt Boone joins us to explain how it works and why some people might want to use it.
Well, guys, while Zillow wants to buy your house, they really want to sell you convenience, and it allows a seller to get cash up front, buying their home as is. The catch is pretty obvious. If you don't sell your home on the market, you risk getting a lower price. But Zillow has bet for some sellers, it's worth it.
Knock, knock.
Realtor Kyle Whistle takes us on a tour of one of his homes for sale in Lake Murray.
All the custom woodwork's pretty amazing.
He's selling it the traditional way, but says this house would be a good candidate for Zillow Offers. While it's in good shape, he says it could still use things like new counters, new paint, and new landscaping.
So when they sell with Zillow, they don't have to worry about coming out of pocket.
Whistle is going to start working with Zillow on the ground in San Diego. Sellers can go to Zillow's website, enter some basic info about their home, and within a few days, he'll offer a price.
So Zillow's goal is to purchase homes at market value. So they're not like a traditional flipper who's coming in and trying to buy homes significantly below market value and have a big margin.
While it could be more convenient for some sellers, especially those without much time or money to make repairs, there is a trade-off.
Are they going to get top dollar? No, they are not.
Mark Goldman is a loan officer and former real estate professor. He says Zillow's price has several factors built in.
They're going to reduce it by their holding costs, anticipated holding costs, their commission to sell the property, their costs of renovations, improvements, and repairs that they're going to have to make, you know, and a profit.
And that's not to mention the fee they charge, which last quarter averaged 7.5% in the markets they currently operate in. But even he says it could be a useful option for sellers who want certainty in a transaction that normally has many variables.
They're turning their house into cash very quickly and with the least amount of hassle.
San Diego is the second market in California where they've offered this. Their competitor Redfin also offers a similar service here. And while experts don't really think this will disrupt the market right now, if there is a nationwide slowdown, they predict it could become more popular. Matt Boone, 10 News.